If you took a trip to a national park in the 19 teens, you likely went by train. And it was a very expensive proposition. The wealthy people went west. When you went down to the train station, you were under the railroad's thumb. But when you bought that car from Mr. Henry Ford and you got in it, you were in control. We will not be, again, prisoners of the railroads and of their timetables.
As soon as you went a few miles from home, the roads ended. And yet here was a machine that would allow you to travel quickly all kinds of places if you only had a good road.
After World War I, it was the National Park Service, AAA, and the National Park-to-Park Highway Association, which banded together and used this See America First theme to encourage the common motorist to travel to the national parks.
Visitors to the national parks nearly doubled from 1918 to 1919. In 1920, it reached over 1 million. Americans piled into their cars and headed west, searching for reprieve, release, and most of all, adventure. There was a new sense of freedom pervading the country's population, the sense that they could go anywhere and do anything in their automobiles. What the national parks needed was someone with vision and a plan to secure better roads for travelers. What they got was Stephen Mather's National Park-to-Park Highway. The route would take them west from Denver to Rocky Mountain National Park, and from there to Yellowstone, Glacier, Mount Rainier, Crater Lake, Lassen Volcanic Park, Yosemite, General Grant, Sequoia, Zion, the Grand Canyon, then into Mesa Verde, and back to Denver. 12 intrepid adventurers signed on. Stella Leviston was a remarkable addition to the party.
I think for a woman to travel on this 76-day trip, it would have really said a lot about her constitution.
The route for the tour was found and mapped by AAA's Pathfinder, Anton Westgard.
Anton Westgard was quite the character. He was known as the Great Pathfinder, and he would put together routes for cars to go in the early part of the 20th century.
Anton's sense of adventure had to be pretty great for him to go through all those frustrations and flat tires and mud.
It wasn't someone in Denver saying they wanted a road to Estes Park, or someone in Bozeman who wanted to drive to Glacier. Suddenly, it was connecting them all. This wave of automobiles had begun, but connecting the huge emptiness of the American West with decent roads opened up whole new opportunities for automobile tourism, and it took off fast.
In the early days, the road wasn't paved.
We're talking about dirt roads that when it rains, they turn to mud, pure mud, mire.
The roads were often described as gumbo.
Oh, they were terrible.
They're rough, they're bumpy, they're rocky.
Things break and they get stuck in the mud.
Tires would fail in ways that they couldn't even be repaired back then.
You had to carry your gas supplies, you had to carry your tools. There's no gas stations, there's no maps, there's no road signs.
It goes places that you can't predict. It connects you to things you've never dreamt of. You don't know how it's going to turn out. You come back with stories. It's an adventure.